Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a great topic for today's show in which it is June is Pride Month. And I want to take this time to wish all of my LGBTQI brothers and sisters out there happy Pride and a safe one too. And so let's get right into this topic. And there's going to be uh, different sections here that I'm going to be talking about. And after I host this show, I am going to be hosting my show on YouTube as well. Then I will continue this conversation on that show as well. So, but let's get right into this topic. June is Pride Month, and unfortunately, for this month because of the COVID-19, uh, probably the so far they're not going to have the pride parades in a lot of states, and so but that's for a safety reason, and we can always have the pride parade at a later time, and we can do things virtually right now too. So there are ways of going around and about this to still celebrate Pride. Now, there's also a couple of other things that I want to say that even within the LGBT community, there are disagreements and differences, and we have to respect one another, absolutely. But, you know, I've had a lot of people ask me, how come people just don't comprehend what the LGBTQI stand for and accept it and whatever? And here's what I stipulate to them. For decades, pretty much everybody knew what LGBT stands for. And it was simple, four letters. Then it became LGBTQ. Then it became LGBTQI and all this other stuff. And it made things so confusing. And it's kind of like when you read a book that's 500 pages long. No one's going to read it. No one's going to give a damn about it. It's too long. It's too confusing. Okay? And you have to understand that too. It's not that they're trying to disrespect, they just don't understand it. With too many changes, you know, people are just going to turn away. If you keep things short, sweet, and simple and don't touch it, like the old saying goes, if something's not broken, don't touch it. And if you do that, things will go smoothly. But when people turn around and say, well, I want constant change, everything's going to have to change, everything's going to have to be, you know, change, 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 you're going to draw more and more people away. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. And then people turn around and ask me about labels, quote unquote labels, right? And they say, well, nobody should have any labels. Here's what I say, there's nothing wrong with labels. If you don't like labels, fine. That doesn't mean that everybody can't like labels. It's not to say that all labels have to be taken away from everybody. That's not right. That's not fair. Because you don't like it, and you walk around with an attitude of, well, if I don't like it, nobody else is allowed to like it. That's not right. That's not fair. That's not the right way of doing things. If you don't like it, fine. There's nothing wrong with labels, ladies and gentlemen. It's like when you go shopping at a supermarket. What's the first thing you look at when you're buying a product? Duh, the label. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, let's also take this a little further. Okay, like I talked about before, respect. Okay, you know, we have to respect one another. Years ago, within a gay couple, basically you knew who was the masculine one in the relationship and who was the feminine one in the relationship. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, it is what it is. And when people say, well, I don't like labels, I want to change, that doesn't mean that everybody else has to. And if you leave things alone and just respect one another, then things would run smoothly. Seriously. And um, I'm glad with a lot of the changes that happened over time. And now that the pronouns have to be respected too, you know, if you have a gay couple, one of them can be called Mrs. if they want to. And that's fine if they want to. It's not taken away from anybody else. And for people to say, why should that happen? If somebody wanted to be called the wife of the relationship, that is fine too. And people say, why should that happen? Not taking away from anybody else. Just respect it and say, okay. And then I've had people ask me, well, how should we um, present us to when we're speaking to uh, an LGBT person who may want to be known as like Mrs. or whatever. And I simply say this: you don't have to worry about calling them Mrs. or whatever up front. You know what you say? Very simple. Get ready. Hello. Hi, how are you? That's how you present yourself to them. And if they say I'm Mrs. So and so, instead of going, well, why? Or how's that? Just simply say, okay, and accept it. That's it. And if you do that, life is so much simpler. Because if you want to be respected, okay, here's a simple hint of what I was taught about proper leadership. You want respect, you have to earn it. It's not just given. You have to show it. And when you show proper respect to others, guess what? It's going to be shown back. Simple, simple stuff, right? But everybody's got to make things complicated. Now, uh, let's see how much time is left. There's really not much time left to the show, but I'm going to quickly say this. And there's also people who walk around with a disgusting, horrible attitude, even within the LGBT community. And they have this attitude towards innocent people who have done nothing to them. And that's not right. You want to take your attitude out on because you feel hurt and whatever, and uh, you want to walk around saying, well, all gay guys are just like this and they're just going to walk all over us and this is how they do. No. The proper way of saying it is those specific gay people did that to you. If somebody else innocently comes up and maybe actually wants to work together with you, don't give them a horrible, disgusting attitude, right? Just like you didn't deserve to be treated horribly, these innocent people don't deserve to be treated horribly, okay? And having an attitude thinking your garbage don't stink, not showing proper leadership. You're hurt, fine, and you don't want to be walked all over. Understandable, fine. So here's what I say: if you got a problem, hire a therapist, talk your problems out, deal with your problems, okay? And don't take your nasty, disgusting, horrible attitude out on innocent people. You want to take your horrible, nasty, disgusting attitude out on someone? Take it out on the specific people, the specific individuals that did the horrible act to you. Nobody else. That's it. And if you're saying no to that, then you're not part of the solution. You are then only part of the problem. And you will never then become successful in life. I mean, you want to say, I'm going to be a success. I'm going to be this. Not if you walk around with a disgusting, horrible attitude. Not if you go around thinking your garbage don't stink. That's not proper leadership qualities. It's not proper leadership characteristics. You want to amount to something? You want to be successful? You have to change. You have to show that leadership quality. And nobody else can do that for you. You have to do that yourself. So now there's really not much time left. And again, after I host this show, I'm going to host my show on YouTube. But I want to take the time to remind everybody that this show, Equality and Rights for All, is scheduled for Thursdays. My other show that I host here on Spreaker.com, Disabled Reality, is scheduled for Fridays. And I hope to speak to everybody again tomorrow, too, and also next Thursday for this show, Equality and Rights for All. And I want to remind everybody about my business, my website, which is Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. The last page is the donations page, and your donations uh, help us here at Advocate Information Highway to achieve our goals, in which we go to help a lot of people from a lot of different communities. And um, so your donations go to help us to achieve those goals. And I also want to remind everybody to check out the store page of the website, in which on there you'll see the link to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which I designed a lot of products and they're up for sale on there. You'll also see the links to where you guys can take a sneak peek into both books that I wrote, and you can also purchase them as well. And you'll also see the link to the website that my husband and I have together called oddsandends.com. That's ODDZ like zebra, N like Nancy, ENDS.com. And you guys can shop to your heart's content. And so, with that, take care, everybody. Bye.